My question is to the Leader of the House. What has been the Albanese Labour government's approach to passing its agenda through the Parliament, and what approaches has the government rejected?
Give the call to the Leader of the House.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. And I thank the member for Pearce for the question. We've now completed 50 sitting days. 50 sitting days have been completed. And in that time, we have had a different approach to our predecessors, one of whom, the previous member for Pearce, had been a Leader of the House. And one of the big changes is we debate legislation without shutting people down. We've now had, over those 50 sitting days, we've had more than 2,000 speeches on legislation, more than 2,000. Over the same time period, that is 60 hours of additional debate on legislation compared to what happened opposite. Now, the 60-hour figure is a convenient one, because they've got a 60-hour statistic of their own. Their 60-hour statistic is they spent 60 hours in divisions voting whether the member should be no further heard or whether the question should be put. And I had hoped at the end of this session, when I was asked a similar question at the end of last year, I was able to report then that there'd been no case where anyone had moved that the member be no further heard. It used to be staple for Leaders of the House, including the one who's now the Leader of the Opposition. But last week, the record got smashed. But who moved that the members be no further heard? Over there. Even in opposition, they are still addicted to silencing debate. This morning, there weren't many people in the chamber, but this morning we had a standing orders debate. And in the standing orders debate, the manager of opposition business referred to the right of members, the right, like a democratic right, to be able to move that someone else not be allowed to make a sound. Now, we've all seen movies where someone gets told you have the right to be silent. According to them, you have the right to silence everybody else. That's their approach. But as we've had these debates, where the former Leader of the House, now Leader of the Opposition, when he was Leader of the House, wanted to shut down debate, in his next job wants to keep shutting down debate. Similar parody actually for his predecessor, the former member for Pearce. When he was Leader of the House, wanted to back Clive Palmer, now wants to be employed by Clive Palmer. It's all continued. But in that time, we now have legislation.
The Leader will pause. Order. Members on my right, the Minister for Veterans Affairs. I'll hear from the Deputy Leader of the Opposition. A point of order.
Point of order, Mr Speaker, on relevance, but you may not like it, but this government's priorities are totally warped.
The Leader will just resume his seat while I order. I think the Deputy Leader of the Opposition knows what's coming, and as a result of the abuse of standing orders, she will leave the chamber under 94A. And the Leader of the House will continue for the remainder of the time.
As a result of that, our aged care reforms are now law. Paid family and domestic violence leave, now law. A National Anti-Corruption Commission, now law. The electric vehicles tax discount, now law. Jobs and Skills Australia, now law. Cheaper medicines, now law. Cheaper childcare, now law. Getting wages moving, now law. The climate change targets and the safeguard reforms, now law. Improved paid parental leave, now law. The National Reconstruction Fund, now law, with those opposite saying no.
Order. Order. Members banging on desks is highly disorderly.